Ooh, I'm live. Hi. Oh my goodness. Apologies for being late. It has been a morning of triumph and disaster. Less of the triumph, more the disaster. But anyway, how are you all? I have got comments here. And my computer's right. Okay, let me just explain what's going on. That's the door, because we've got a bit of thing trapped underneath it. Okay, he's gone. Right, so here's what's going on. My keyboard decided this morning it wasn't going to work. So I'm not on my usual computer. I'm on my laptop, hence the funny angle, hence why you can see all the stuff that's behind the screen. But anyway, the show must go on, and I am here. Can you, whoever that is watching, could you confirm that you can hear me? Because I haven't used this microphone with this laptop before, so I'm hoping that you can. The fact you're still watching tells me that hopefully you can hear what I'm saying. It's been that kind of morning. I don't know anything anymore. Anyway, so we have a hello. So I don't know who you are, Facebook user, because hey, Lucinda, was that you who said hello? Brilliant. Excellent. No, it wasn't. So whoever's Facebook user, could you just take a second to just nip up above the video and click on the allow StreamYard to see your face, and then I can see who you are and I can pop comments up on the screen like this. And we'll see it's Lucinda. Hey, lovely. Hey, lovely. Right, I'm here. It's Dawn. Hi, Dawn. You're only down the road. You could come and sit here and listen to me from here. Bless. Right. So most of you know who I am, but just for those of you who don't, I'm Fiona Gazzard. You also see me around as Fee Barnes. That's my married name. My business is under my maiden name. Long, complicated reasons, but that's the way it is. So I basically am a content strategist and content coach. What that means is I can help you with your messaging for your business. I can also help you implement that messaging across multiple platforms, help you implement a blog, hence Blogging Bootcamp also in the group here. We can set up newsletters. Yeah, so all of those things, there's a lot more involved in it than that, but that's the basics. So how I came to do this for the last I'm going to say 11 years now. My husband and I have been running Moghill Web Services, and that we basically build websites for businesses. And as part of our offering, we've always done the content side of things. But here in France, we've got our own businesses, and my skill set has always been more on the content side. And over the course of 10 years, I've picked up an awful lot of experience in the best ways to implement all of these things. So that is a real brief rundown of me. Maybe I think that's the wrong Dawn then. It says, I don't know where you mean I'm watching on my phone. Yeah, have I got the right Dawn? I don't know. A different Dawn, maybe. But so enough of that waffling. I won't do the whole thing of I'm going to sit and wait for some people to turn up, because I know, and this is some little information to impart to you, most of the people who watch your lives are going to be watching on the replay, basically. So I see a lot of people do a live and then they sit there and seriously like saying nothing for like 3-5 minutes. And is it just me? Is that really like frustrating when you're watching on the replay and you're like, okay, are you ready yet? And you whiz it forward a bit and then no, okay. Yes, I was thinking of the right Dawn. Yeah, I was saying because you're only down the road, you could come round and just sit next to me listening to me talk. That was my silly little humour. I'm not really right in the head today, so apologies. Anyway, what we are here to do today is to come up with a content plan. I say for 2022, I wouldn't necessarily do it for a whole year because the way the world is and the way life is what happens when you're making other plans. By this time next year, you might have tweaked the direction your business is going. You might be doing a completely different thing. You just don't know. Might not be here, be morbid, but yeah. So you just like I tend to go about 3 months at a time for creating a content plan. But to begin all of this, and the foundation of absolutely everything I do with content is review what content you've got. So if people want to, there's always a cuppa here, Dawn. If you have a business and you have different places that you're putting your message out there, the first thing I would suggest you do when starting any content plan is review your core content. So you've got your about page, you've got your services page, maybe you've got, I don't know if you sell products or whatever, and obviously something like Sensi, because we accept all businesses here, network marketing or coaches or solopreneurs or whatever. I'm not fussy. I'm not prejudiced against anybody. I think they all have their place and they're all potentially good things. So something like Sensi, Dawn's got her own Sensi website that sells the products. And you're also with another network marketing company as well that does like cards and beautiful. I could show you, I've got this over the other side of the room, but Dawn gave me a very beautiful Christmas card. It is the nicest Christmas card I had this year. And sorry to everybody else who sent me Christmas cards, but Dawn's was the nicest because she made it herself. So my point being, she's got another blog for the card side of things, completely separate, that she's done herself. Hope you don't mind me telling everybody this, Dawn. But she's got a completely separate website for a blog for sort of making cards and doing creative things like that. So, and those two things she integrates, and she links out from the blog to her products where people can buy the products that she's used in the blog. That's a really good integrated marketing idea. And also she's got a Facebook group. Yep, Stamping Up, that's what it's called. It's got a Facebook group for the Sensi, and she runs that really well. Little things sort of trickling out, bit personal, bit of this is the latest things we've got. And yeah, so that's an example of quite a nice little integrated way of doing it. So I know in a lot of cases with network marketing, people just rely on the website of the company that's selling the product. Couple of problems with that. Don't want to dwell too long on this particular aspect, but Facebook is getting funny with a lot of network marketing companies. So if you put a link out on Facebook to a network marketing company, not all of them, but some of them have been blacklisted by Facebook. So therefore, if you're relying on Facebook to promote your network marketing business, you're missing out on huge opportunities. However, if you had a website or a blog backing that up to give your own personal experience of the company, then you can link to that, which is not blacklisted by Facebook, and promote your products from there. It also makes sense in that sense to have newsletters, because you can put all the links you like in that, and Facebook has nothing to do with it. So, and it's also, yeah, so with Facebook, it's rented ground. A newsletter is yours. You might be using like MailChimp or whatever, and we'll go into that in a bit. You might go into that using a different platform, but you own that content. It's not like MailChimp's going, no, that's my content. You're not having that back, and I can take that off you. Doesn't happen. So yeah, that was just a little preamble there. But yeah, so the 5 people here watching today, I would love to know what it is you do. Obviously, I know what Dawn does, but everybody else watching, I don't know who we've got. So please pop in the chat who you are, and what it is you do, where you're watching from would be amazing. And as a little bonus question, what media are you using at the moment to promote your business? So are you just using Facebook? Do you have a blog? Do you have a website? What else do you have? And I've lost a couple of people because they don't want to tell me. That's fine. You don't have to tell me. It's just be interesting to know who we're talking to. So yeah, that's the first thing to check is all of your current media that you're using to promote your business, does it still relate to the facts? Are you still doing that kind of thing? Have you tweaked your offering at all in the time since you set all of that up? So with any website, really, you can review your content and just tweak it. For example, my Fiona Gazard website, I started off creating content for people, and then I felt, for various reasons, I felt more drawn towards helping people to create their own content and to do it so they produce quality content. And the reasons for that are largely about SEO and usability. That's a whole bleeding talk in itself, to be quite honest with you. Right. Yes. Dawn, blogger, Instagram, and Pinterest. Awesome, because that's really lends itself to what you're promoting. And Lucinda, I do Reiki healing from Midlands, currently not using enough or anything. Now, I know you had a little dabble with a blog, didn't you? So I think, it's sort of just a bit of consistency in that and stuff. And I know life gets in the way, but, if we're running our businesses as businesses and we want them to pay us a wage and things like that, then we need to treat them as a business and treat it as a serious thing. If it's a hobby, then it's a hobby. But if you want it to be a proper business, then you need to put the time in for that. Don't feel like I'm telling you off, Lucinda. I'm absolutely not. I say all of this with tough love. Do you know what I mean? So with all of that, so is your current marketing reflecting what you're doing at the moment? If it isn't, and if it doesn't, then now is the time to go in and just tweak it. I did also in my business embodiment group, there was another session about it was, I think I said finding your soul marketing client, something like that. For soul marketing message. So the message that you want to put out that is aligned with what you do. What that really is about is telling people how you can help them. So a lot of people I've seen, especially with coaches, they sit there and they say, I do this, that, the other methodologies. I know a spiritual life coach who literally lists the methods she used, and a lot of them don't mean anything to a lot of people. Some of them have quite funny names, especially in that field. Everyone knows what Reiki is, obviously, and I know I can testament that Lucinda is very good at what she does with Reiki, and she absolutely needs to believe in herself and do more with her business promotion. But I can't even remember what the name of it is. Huna, something like that. This life coach that I know, spiritual life coach, I think it's Huna. It's a Hawaiian thing. I don't know what it is. So her telling me that she does that is pointless to me. If she told me that it was going to solve a particular problem that I had, then my ears would prick up more and I'd be like, right, yes, okay, that sounds awesome. So yeah, just be watchful that you're not using too much kind of industry jargon. You want to really be thinking at it from the point of view of your audience. I'm going to use the word audience, potential clients, whatever, website users, Facebook friends, whatever. It's your audience, isn't it? The overall term. So Lucinda, I'm going to use you as an example because you're not really doing anything, but I know you have the tools in place. So you've got a Facebook group, right? You've got a, a blog, and you've also got your profile. These are your just normal Facebook profile. These are all tools you can use in promoting your business. You could do with some newsletters and building a list. That again, I think that'll probably be next week's subject. But right now, your homework, everybody's homework is to go and review your content to see that it's still current. And then we're going to be thinking about what to write about in your content for the coming 3 months. We'll say 3 months, first quarter of the year. And then when that's done, repeat the process. It's something worth oft repeating. And bear in mind, there is room within this that if current affairs happen that are relevant to your industry, or something comes up that you want to talk about as well, then there's absolutely room for that within the framework of this. Now, how much content do you need to produce? That's a very interesting question. I would say as often as you can reasonably produce it consistently. So that doesn't matter if it's once a week, once a fortnight, once a month. I wouldn't do it any less than once a month. Don't go and look at my blog and judge me, because I've been doing a lot of stuff recently. So I've been doing a lot for other people and neglecting my own website. So it's like the plumber with a leaky tap. But so you kind of want to, there you go. Dawn says she has 2 spring summer catalogues to promote, which is fab. And I'm looking forward to seeing that catalogue because I'm quite into my Scentsy at the moment. So what was I saying? Oh, I'm so distractible. It's all the technical issues. And I cannot believe my damn keyboard, which I've only had for about 3 or 4 months, has just stopped working. My mouse still works, and that's connected on the same thing. I'm going to stop moaning about that. I need to get over it, really. So you're going to now be thinking about the kinds of things that you can talk about on your content. And you can use this method for whatever it is you use. I know there are some people use YouTube, and in fact, I'm streaming this live into YouTube on my YouTube channel because I've been meaning to get something going on there for a while. And I'm like, well, let's just stream my training sessions into there, and then they'll be on my YouTube channel. You just never know who's going to see it and what's going to happen. Might be nobody, but the thing is, even though you can get crickets a lot of the time when you produce content, and I still put stuff out that gets absolutely nothing, no views, no comments and whatever, you've still got to put it out there because, one, it gets you in the kind of frame of mind and the habit of producing content. Secondly, guaranteed, if you keep it up and you keep it relevant and you keep it aligned with your sole purpose, at some point somebody is going to see something and go, oh my god, that's awesome. It's going to go viral. Like suddenly you'll have like 100,000 people see your video, and once they do that, they'll go, what else has she done? What else can I watch of hers? Oh my god, I love Dawn's lives so much. I want to drink them all in. I want to learn as much as I can from Dawn. And then you go and binge. Have you ever done this? Like Denise Duffield Thomas is a good example for me. She's amazing. I've got her book up in my shelf there. I've got so many little free trainings. She's doing a workshop next week and stuff like that. I'd heard about her. I'd seen the odd thing. And then once I saw something of hers that totally got me and resonated with me, and I thought, that's amazing. And now I just want to binge watch everything she does. So now I follow her podcast, follow her YouTube. I'm in one of her groups, all sorts of things. So it's for that, it's really important to keep putting the content out. Okay. Now, we've been going for 25 minutes and we haven't done any actual planning. So, to that end, I will begin that part of things. So, I'm going to use a new page of my coffee stained book. Oh my goodness, this is so unprofessional. So unprofessional, Fiona. I genuinely, I spelt coffee on this book and it's all, yeah, okay, before Christmas, but I still have it because I'm not going to waste it. So, does anybody fancy being a little test subject for this at all, or am I going to scare more people off by asking that? It's just quite nice to do this on the fly for other people, and if you do want to do it, then I can post you the join me link, and you can come on because I'm on StreamYard, so it could work. See, I've lost somebody from asking somebody to come and join. It's always happens. So basically. Okay, I'll do it for myself. This is going to be a very, very rough example, as everything I do is. But so content creation, I'm going to use as because what I'm doing is teaching you peeps to create your own content in a quality way. Dawn, do you want to come on? I'll send you. Hang on, invite. Right, okay. I'll do it through my phone because everything is so disjointed right now. Hang on. Hang on. This is so unprofessional, Fiona. Oh, it's Dawn. Barwick. Right. I'm going to send you, Dawn, the link. StreamYard.com. Bear with. Rough and ready, live TV and all of that. StreamYard.com/. Hopefully this will work on your phone. Right. Okay, there you go. That should work. Do you need an app? No, you shouldn't need an app. You should get a link. Hi, Natalia. You should get a link by Messenger, and if you click that link, you should be good to go. It'll take you to, it goes through a web browser, I believe. That's what I'm doing this through. And we're going to basically just go through and generate some ideas for content for you. Okay, so this is not the personal kind of content, which I think is really valuable for people to see the background to what you do. But if we pick one of your marketing ventures, and we'll run with that. So when she's ready, when she appears, she's gonna appear in my little studio. Oh. No, she's not here yet. So basically, so I'm a big fan of web diagrams, and Dawn has just arrived. So I've got content creation in the center, and we're going to be going blah, 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 like that, and filling those in. So I'm going to bring Dawn in. Bear with me. Here she is. Hi. I don't know which way I'm supposed to go. There you go. That's better. Actually, that cuts off the rubbishy bookcase at the other side of my screen as well. So that's all good.
Oh, you can see my
How
kitchen.
are you today?
Fine.
Yeah. You've got a nice kitchen though. You keep a nice tidy house, unlike me.
Oh,
But
thank you.
so, yes, has that all made sense so far?
Yes. I was a bit panicked
Excellent.
because when you sent me the link, I was like, oh no, I don't know how to work it.
Tap the link. It's all
This
very
is all
simple.
new.
Yes. Well, yes,
I've
because
got to
you've not
change.
really done any. I'm actually glad I got you on the screen because you've not really done any showing your face lives, have you?
No.
I know you've done some where it's like we can all see your hands doing
Yeah,
interesting
my
things.
hands.
But you've shied away from putting your face on the screen. So the good news for you is that you are streaming live now in 3 places.
Oh God.
You're in my Facebook group, you're on my Facebook page, and you're in my YouTube channel. So don't fret because there's not many people following it. But one day when I go viral, they'll all be watching you. So
Thanks. Right,
it's all good.
I'm ready.
So are you a pen and paper kind of girl?
Yes, have you seen my notebook?
Oh, that is glorious.
Glitter.
I love that. Rose gold as well.
Lovely.
Doesn't get any better than that.
Right.
So, right. Okay, I've got some notes here. Inspiration, content creation, inspiration. Because it's really important that it's consistent and is aligned. So which one do you want to be doing? Do you want to be doing your Sensi or your Stampin' Up? Which one is your kind of
I don't
focus
know.
at the moment?
Both.
Well, that might be suitable if they were like related, which they're tenuously they might be, but you really got to. It's like, so somebody has a website. I know that somebody I used to know. I do still know them, but I don't see them as often since I moved away from where I knew them. They had 2 sides to their business, and she was amazing at each of these things. One of them was she was a singer, and she has the most glorious voice. She does like 40 swing stuff, and she's amazing. And she's also a gluten-free baker. Now, to my mind, certainly from an SEO and usability perspective, you wouldn't put those 2 things on the same website, okay?
No.
But she did put them both into the same business. And it was a real struggle for her to get the message out for either of them because there was just this huge conflict. So I think kind of go with which one lights your fire the most, because that's the one that's going to produce the most authentic content. Does that make sense?
Well, it'll be the Stampin' Up, but I do combine the 2. This, whether you can see this is upside down. There's a Sensi sample inside.
Yay! Yes.
So I have combined the 2.
I think it's behind the screen, but I got that little box you brought round for the chocolates at Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have combined the 2. So when eventually I blog this project, then you kind of sneakily see this.
But that's like guerrilla marketing. Do you know what I mean? That's like, you're not really saying this is all done by Stampin' Up, and you're not putting a Stampin' Up card in. So people are just going, oh, Dawn is really like talented and clever. But then without a follow-up, do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's a great thing to do. Maybe just pop a Stampin' Up card in if you're going to do that. And then people can go, oh, she does that as well. Oh, she did that through that. Oh, okay. Do you see what I mean? It's all kind of integrating. This is a big problem that people do with blogs, that they do a really interesting blog post. I've seen this so often. Really interesting blog post. And at the end, you just kind of, you're left hanging like, oh, that was really interesting.
Mm.
I'm just going to click away because I've got nothing else to do. You're at the bottom of the page. They've not asked you to do anything. So they might go, if this has resonated with you, tell me what you think in the comment below. Even that is something, because that engages people. Or they might say, if this is something you need help with, book a free chat with me to discuss this further. Or you might have a product to sell on it. So you might be talking about, I don't know, unexpected benefits of using wax melts. And if you want to use some wax melts, then here's the link to the shop. Do you know what I mean? It's instead of leaving people dangling, put some kind of a call to action, they call it, instruction on what to do next. So if you're going to do your Stampin' Up, it's a brilliant idea. I love it. But just kind of give people a little hint about what that's about. Otherwise, you're just putting pretty cards in your bag, you know, you're just kind of, you're just making people think you're really, really clever. But if you want to actually promote that, then put a little card in or something, you know.
Mm.
So
Write that down.
got it. It's all right. This
Yep.
is all going to be available. Yeah, right. So one thing when you're creating the content is be free and liberal with your advice. So here, obviously, I'm giving you lots of tips and stuff. This is kind of like you're getting a bit of free coaching in this, which is absolutely fine because it's also demonstrating to other people the kinds of things and people might relate to what's going on. Some people might think, oh no, but hang on, am I working for free here? Don't worry about that. Just like be free and liberal with advice. You're more of a product thing anyway, but I'm talking generally because there's some coaches and practitioners watching as well. So don't be afraid to teach things that you would also maybe teach in your paid stuff. So I just wanted to say that. Okay, so if we're going Stampin' Up, actually that would be quite good because there's an element of teaching involved in that, or essentially you're selling wax melts and people are using them, but there's no real kind of interaction with you further than that. So bear in mind with Stampin' Up, and you've got your web diagram ready, what is the number one question you get asked about it?
How do you make that?
So what do people ask you about it? What do people say in regard to it?
They want me, and I'm very frightened to do it, just do a YouTube tutorial, and I am scared to death.
Well, what's scaring you about it?
Talking.
You're talking now.
I know it's you, and I know you.
You can't see the other people watching.
No.
So therefore don't think about the other people watching. And also tutorials. You genuinely have to just imagine that you know, to me, this is a Zoom call on a smaller screen, that's all. I just kind of, so here's the thing. You'll relate to this because you, like me, live in France and yet you are English and your French isn't the most amazing French ever. I know you are better at French than I am, but when you're speaking French, you have to just get over your embarrassment, right? Because I know my French is absolute. I have to be careful because we're on YouTube and you can't swear. So yeah, not good. So you have to leave that embarrassment factor at the door when you go out to buy a loaf of bread here, right? Yeah. So think of the same thing with YouTube. You're doing people a service. You're teaching people how to use your thing. Yeah. So forget about the fact that it's on YouTube. And you're doing it for people who specifically want to see your content. You don't even have to make it like searchable on YouTube. There's ways of drumming it down so that only people who've got the link can see it. And then you can embed the video into your website anyway.
Yeah.
Usually. Can't vouch for Blogger. I don't know with Blogger
I'm not
because
sure,
I don't.
to be honest.
No, I'm more of a WordPress, very much. If you ask me, can you do this in WordPress? The answer is invariably yes, but I don't know about too much about other platforms. But so, yeah, in terms of this is, think of it as a blog question or a blog topic. What is the number one question you get asked all the time? Okay, you get a lot of people asking you to do YouTube. Maybe you should seriously consider YouTube as a platform
I have
for
got a YouTube
promoting yourself
account.
then.
I do have one, but
Uh-huh.
it's finding the time to sit and do a tutorial because of the kids as well.
Yeah.
And I've got a light stand thing. I need a better
Yeah.
one, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I need a recommendation. I'm just going to show you it now. I have this, and your phone sort of
All
sits in there
right.
because I need the phone to point down over onto my work surface, not on my face.
Yeah. There's
So
there's a little bendy thing for the phone holder, isn't there?
yeah, but it doesn't bend. I need it a bit longer and a bit more stable because I haven't got a craft room. I use my kitchen table, so I have to have it up high and then it leans over and then falls. Don't want my phone falling.
Right.
So I
You
need.
need this then, okay. You need one of these. This is my other one that I was using earlier because I needed to go on a Zoom call and my computer was being a knob, and so I used this instead to hold my phone. Right, hang on. So this is like a big clip that clips to my
Yeah.
shelf.
Mm,
There's the ring light. Yeah, so it's a bit smaller, but still, it's perfectly big enough. And then this thing. So what I do is I like clip that to my shelf, imagine,
mm,
and then you could have that, hold your phone, point it
mm.
downwards, and it's not going to fall over because it's clipped onto a shelf.
Yeah, and that's why I
And that
need
was,
it to be. Mine's too short. It's really short. The actual cradle
yeah,
for the phone.
yeah, because I've got the big ring light and there's a phone thing in that, but yeah, the thing is only about that long.
That's what mine's like.
Hold the thing, so that's a lot better, and it clips to the shelf, so it's not going to fall over. So I recommend that. That was, I think, it's about 15 quid on Amazon.
Mm,
So that's what I would recommend for that. I know. Do you know Steph, the dog trainer, who also
no.
does the crafternoons? So she's got
No.
this big setup. It's a shame if she's not watching right now, because she's got this big setup and she puts a webcam on it and it's got big lights because her husband's not husband, partner is a very sort of clever woodworker type person. So he's made this big framework for her, but that might be a bit extreme. But that I think would do you right, I think,
Mm.
probably. So yeah, that's maybe one of your platforms you need to experiment with.
Mm,
But you can absolutely just film your hands doing it. But I would recommend
mm.
getting your face out there as well, because that's how people get to know, like, and trust.
True.
Yeah. So
Right.
yes, I got a little message, a little thing here from Natalia, who is was my friend in Sofia in Bulgaria, and she has said, when what you have to say excites you, the number of strangers listening to you loses its scary effect. Does that make sense?
I
When
do
you
get very
feel the
excited.
purpose, when you feel the purpose in what you do and you're excited to share it, you genuinely don't think about all the people watching. And the other thing, I'll tell you this, nobody's first live is ever any good. And people might look at this now and go, and I hear all the time, but Fiona, you're so confident on lives. Oh
Mm,
my goodness, I find your lives really entertaining. Listen, you want to go watch my first ever live? Not the case at all. It was dreadful. I was self-conscious, didn't know what I was doing. I fluffed everything. Now I just kind of show up and go with the flow and care a lot less about what people think. And Natalia quite rightly says she's an introvert and quite a silent one. I don't know you're that silent, Natalia, but maybe that's what you think. But give her a topic she's passionate about and just try to close my mouth. Quite. I agree with that, absolutely. When it's something, I've been going now 40 minutes, and it feels like I've been on for about 10 minutes personally. And I've probably bored people to tears with a lot of this. Maybe you've hopefully found some of it instructional and helpful. But yeah, because it's something I know, it's something I'm passionate about. I want to help people do better in their businesses and spread their word and find their voice and all of that. I could sit and talk for another 40 minutes easily, but I will try not to. But yeah, it's all about having that purpose. If it comes from here, it's an abundant river of information, or maybe some other words that comes forth, really. So on that sense, is there a question about either Sensi or Stampin' Up that people ask you a lot, that you find yourself answering the same question again and again and again? Does that make sense?
Again, it's say for example, I've made a card and there's various Facebook groups that I share the card in, and it's got my watermark and things on so people can find me. Because there's rules in these groups that you're not allowed to sell and blah blah blah. So then people say, "Have you got a tutorial?" And then I'm like, "I've written the instructions on my blog," but because it's me, they're not always very clear. Because I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it's if then, for example, if I was to do like a step by step, I take a picture and then I talk about it and then another picture and then tell you what to do. It takes ages, which again falls back onto YouTube. If I did it on YouTube, it would be there. I wouldn't have to keep taking I should speak properly as well. Taking a photograph of everything and then explaining each stage. If you do it all on YouTube, it's there and you can rewind it and watch it again.
Easier. I tell you, it's quicker by a long way to record a video about something than it is to write it about something. By a mile. By a mile.
I was doing, because of COVID, no one got, sorry, my eyes itching. They couldn't come to my house. So I was providing kits for the people that would come to my workshops. And then, of course, I was thinking, the instructions would take forever. And I was thinking, this is costing me time. And I'm not earning anything by doing it. So I would make short videos. But I would only share them in the group. I wouldn't let anybody else see them. So there was this 15 people, I think, in the little craft group that I'm in. So I wouldn't make, the group's not public, so it's on Facebook, but I wouldn't put it on YouTube because I didn't want anyone to hear my voice because I sound like a 12-year-old.
Listen, another little secret for you, Dawn. Nobody likes their own voice.
No.
But you're not, this one piece of advice changed my life in terms of doing lives, because I'm super paranoid about my voice. One, because I'm Bristolian and I sound like a farmer even though I'm from a city. Everyone says that cruncher, it's like farmer. I'm not a farmer. I live in a city, grew up in a city. But somebody said about hating your own voice, you're not doing it for you. You're doing it for other people, and other people see you in a completely different way to how you see yourself. That's a fact. When I was a kid, the primary reason I'm paranoid about my voice is when I was a kid, somebody bullied me saying that I sounded like a lamb. And I don't even know what that was even about, but it was like, something is horrible about my voice, so I therefore will not portray my voice in public because it makes me super paranoid, and it was setting off panic attacks and stuff just thinking about doing it. And the only way I got over it was just doing it, It's the only way to just prove to yourself that it's actually all right. And when you get people giving you good feedback, because actually since I've been doing lives, I've had people saying, Thea, I could listen to you all day. I really like your voice, which is the opposite to what the bully at school said. It's like, oh, okay, well, I know who I'm going to listen to because I don't even see that bully at school anymore. So why am I still living my life by their standards? So, yeah, I think you've got a lovely voice. I think other people would agree with that. Honestly, it's rare that you hear somebody where you go, oh my God, their voice really great. Something, don't get me wrong, it does happen, but you're not one of those people. So
thank you.
do not worry about that. Do not worry about that.
It just falls back to the whole confidence thing, because I shake and my voice shakes,
Yeah.
and I don't want, and then because I'm so northern as well, I'll revert back to not speaking properly.
Well, there are tips and techniques. There are little tricks and things to just calm your nerves before you go on. But I've done lives where I've been given talks in person back when we could see people in reality, given talks, and I've been absolutely bricking it and shaking and thought I was going to throw up before, and I went up, did my talk, finished, and got such good feedback, and I was like, oh my God, I was so nervous. And they were like, it didn't show. And I think the thing is, as long as you sort of keep your head up and keep going, get your message out, have notes to some level. I'm not a massive note user, but yeah, then people don't see that. People don't see how nervous you are necessarily. Yeah. So
like my upline, she's got, for Stamping Up, she's got hundreds of thousands of followers on YouTube and Facebook, and she does sound like she's talking to you personally, and I don't know, I just, it's difficult.
Yeah, you can. She just learned how to do it, that's all.
I mean, she's
There's
been
no
doing it for
reason at all why you can't do it.
No.
Okay, so how long have you been doing it?
3.
Well, then you're comparing yourself and your reality with her highlight reel. You haven't seen the journey. She's gone from being 3 years in to being, what, 16 years in?
6.
That's a long time to be doing something. She knows that really, really well. 6 years. Well, that's
6.
only 3 years until you're at that stage. Do you know what I mean? The sooner you start with this, the better you'll be when you've been doing it for 6 years. But the only way to get over this stuff genuinely is to just do it and make a crap live. Doesn't matter. It's one live. And I did a video once when I was doing network marketing for cosmetics, and I was basically doing my makeup, and it wasn't that phone holder. I had my phone and I had it on a mirror, and it was one of those car ones, the car ones that you have to put your phone in while you're doing your sat nav. It's the only reason I use it. I don't use my phone in the car in that sense, but so I had it on the mirror. And anyway, so partway through doing my video, and it wasn't a live, thankfully, it was one I was recording and I was going to chop together. And the phone just fell. Yeah. And I'd only just started with video making software. So my plan was to chop out the bit where it falls over and seamlessly just have it jump to the bit where I'd put the phone back up. And I couldn't figure out how to crop that piece and then add it together. So I just went, sod it. I'm just going to run it in its entirety with the phone falling. And you know what? So many people commented about how they found that hilarious. And they loved that video because the phone falls and then I put it back up and pull a little funny face going, oops, like completely nothing to do with all the makeup stuff that I was doing, just the fact that my phone fell over, but it made it memorable. So little kind of human touches like that, they're not a bad thing. It's really not a bad thing.
Again, back to my upline, I talk about her all the time. She does it, she just records it and then that's it. She doesn't retake it. She goes wrong, She has actually glued stuff
Yeah.
together. Well, actually, not glued stuff together. She's forgot the glue and tried to stick it together with no glue, and then realised she hasn't even put the glue on it. She's got several cats, and the cats walk across her desk while she's trying to stick stuff together and steal a
Yeah.
ribbon and things. She never
Yeah.
has pre-recorded, like, oh, obviously it is pre-recorded because it's not live, but she's never chopped it and restarted it or took bits out of it. And
No.
they're always about 10 to 12 minutes long. She never does anything complicated or
Yeah.
they're short. I don't like videos personally if they're craft videos that go on for hours. I
Yeah.
don't get bored.
Absolutely. Like, you just need something quite quick, don't you? Otherwise, you just go,
Mm,
"Oh my God, I haven't got the time." But like
yeah.
Claudia's just said, and it's exactly what I was going to say, actually. So thank you, Claudia. So I can put it on the screen. Things like that make it real and
Mm,
relatable, you know?
yeah.
It means, oh, Dawn isn't so perfect that she's doing something really complicated that I won't be able to do. Dawn is a real human being. And if she can do it and make a few mistakes, then it's okay. I can have a go at it too. That's what you want people to do. That's when people will buy from
Mm,
you and they'll come to you and they'll go, Dawn, help me with this thing. They'll love you for it,
mm,
they do. People do appreciate reality. This is why
mm.
people watch Love Island. It's called reality TV. It's least related thing to reality that you can find, but people like it, right? Okay, people
Yeah.
like seeing real people, however fake they may be. But yeah, real reality.
I'm just going to
The whole
move
Big
because
Brother
my
thing.
battery's going to go flat. I need to plug you in. Hold on.
So, so okay. So when we're going to looking at YouTube,
Mm.
is it literally just tutorials that people ask you about? Are there any questions people ask you about the Sensi, for example? Like, I can think of one. And I think you could probably get a 500 word blog post out of it. Why do people use the electric warmers and not just one of those traditional candle tea light warmers?
Because they're so
That's something that
dangerous.
oh, but I've been using mine for years. It's not a problem. Why would I need
Our
to
they
buy one
burn
of
too
yours?
hot. It's a candle and they burn too hot. I've actually experienced this for myself. And I stupidly unplugged my electric warmer and I didn't let the wax set and it dropped all over my hand. It doesn't burn. So if you had a
Mm,
little child in the house and they knocked over your candle warmer, bearing in mind they probably set fire to your house as well, if they were to spill the wax on themselves, it doesn't actually burn. The temperature of the wax burns a lot higher with a candle than an electric warmer. There you go. Oh no. I've froze.
Oh my goodness. Sorry, people, and thank you for bearing with. I can't believe I've come in and you're still there. No, yes. Right, so Dawn stayed. I'm back. Okay, Dawn, if you're watching, you can come back, go through that link again. I'm glad you like it, Claudia. I'm glad you're enjoying it, because I feel like I'm rambling a load of old nonsense. But maybe this is because I've been doing this so long that I know the things, and hopefully it's making sense to you people. So amazing. Dawn, if you want to come back in, you are more than welcome. Just hit that same link again and it'll bring you back into the studio. I'll just message Dawn. So yes, do come back, Dawn. So do you see what I mean? So these are the questions that we're going to ask ourselves when writing. So is there a number one question that you get asked all the time? And this is going to be the subject of one blog post or piece of content that you want. So I get asked a lot, say, about newsletters. So I'm going to pop newsletters on my little thing, and that's one of my subjects. Now, newsletters that's a big topic in itself. So that can be broken down into further things. So how do I build an email list? How do I what's the best way to structure a newsletter? Blah, blah, blah. So we've got Dawn back. So I'm going to pop her back on the screen. That was my internet.
No,
You know, hi. We're on satellite broadband, and 3 cars drove past, and I'm not joking. That broke my internet.
never.
That's what I'm living with. Have you got fixed line internet in your place, Dawn?
Yeah.
Oh, you lucky bee. You lucky bee. I have not. Okay. Right. So. Okay. I've got to be honest, the questions that I've got do tend to relate more to coaches and service providers. However, I'm sure that you could adapt it to what you do. So the next question is, and the way it's phrased is a bit odd, but what should your ideal client be asking you that they are not asking? So, excuse me, what could you imagine they would want to know to get the most out of your product or service that maybe they're not asking, but it may be because they're afraid to ask? Or is there something that they need to know or should know in
Because
advance?
I have a you can so I receive the commission. You shop online with me, but you have to. I can either, which I haven't done, pay for a shop, which I can't afford to do, or you can add me as your demonstrator before you shop. So every time I do a blog post, I write down what I've done, then the photographs of what I've made, then I write down how you order from me. So I put the little stages down. There's also a video on my Facebook to say this is how you order off me. And then underneath that, I list all the products with all the links. So it'll take you straight to the website. So I don't know.
So they have to go to the website, but just make sure. So that's like, that's more of that would be like me doing a blog post about how you buy one of my programs. But what I'm getting more at is like a technical usage thing. So if you're looking at Stampin' Up, you might be saying, okay, I'm totally like downloading from source here. I don't know if this is something that we would ask, but how to get a clean cut from one of the what do you call them? The dies, the things that cut the edges. Did I get that right?
Yeah, a die.
Yeah. So
Again,
so do's and don'ts for using that properly to get a good result kind of thing.
it
Does that
would
make sense?
back to YouTube. I would need to do a little quick video to show you
Well,
how
that's the
easy
thing.
it
This
is.
is the thing. This is not just about a blog. This is not just
Mm,
about blogging. This can be used for any medium of content
mm,
creation. So YouTube, absolutely. You still need to come up with the subject for YouTube videos. And if all of them are the same thing of doing just a demo of different things, that's great. But
mm,
tips and tricks is also a
yeah.
really good kind of video to do. Yeah.
Hmm. So you
So
could do
yeah. Okay.
a product-based video. So you would use, I don't know, I'm using a gumball machine die at the minute.
Hmm.
So I could show you how to use it. I could then show you, if you're completely new to stamping, what equipment you would need to start with. So I could give you
Yeah.
a
Starter
little,
kit kind of thing.
yeah, a tip video on how to use your die cutting machine for the first time, if you've first time you've bought one, because they are a considered purchase because they're quite expensive. So I could
Yeah.
do a
Yeah.
how do you use your die cutting machine, how do you use your paper trimmer, those sorts of things, not just based on here's a sheet of
Exactly
paper,
that.
let me show you what I can do with it. I can show you how to use all the other tools that we have.
And also a little bit of theory in advance of doing it. So leave the doing it till later. So people are going, oh, I really
Mm,
want to see that. But leading up to that, you're explaining about the different parts of it. You're not just going, oh, here you go, I'm going to do it, plonk it in the piece of paper, plonk in the piece of paper and do it. And
mm,
that's your 20-second YouTube video. Like a little bit of around it. Do you know what I mean? Talking
mm,
about why you're doing a certain thing. And do you know what I mean? It's all about adding flesh and color to the
mm.
subject.
There's
So
one
that's cool.
video on my YouTube that I am quite proud of because I had a lot of like thumbs up or whatever it is that they do on it. It was basically a die set, and it had a moving part on it. So I just took it all to
Mhm.
bits and I showed everybody how everything went together. I didn't actually make anything. I just showed them the dies, the cutting things, and
Yeah.
everybody liked it, and I was quite chuffed. Chuffed. That's
Yeah.
such a northern term, isn't it? Chuffed. Oh yeah.
Excellent.
So I just
More of that kind of
like
thing.
that.
Yeah.
Mm,
Excellent. Okay. So for the benefits of the people watching as well, I'm going to go through all of these other questions because these are really good sort of ideas generators, and I think we've started to unblock your ideas now, which is really really
mm,
good because I could tell at the beginning you were like, well, there's nothing really, but actually we found quite a lot of things that you can do. Yeah, so
mm,
this is the magic. Um, okay, so okay, so the next kind of thing would be like a list kind of article slash video piece of content. So when I say
mm,
article, I mean anything to do with, it could be a Facebook post, could be a YouTube video. I want to say something about YouTube, about Facebook posts versus blogs, but I'll keep that to the end. Remind me, okay?
mm.
In fact, Facebook posts versus blog, because I have a passionate view on that and I'll share that with you later. Right. So next thing. Right. So list blogs are a really, really good way of doing things. So you can start your piece with 5 things to do with blah, blah, blah. 3 ways to blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Mm,
So 3 to 5 software, tools, apps, hacks, or products that would make your ideal client's life better. So, probably not for this one, but say coming up to Christmas, you could do 3 easy to do Christmas cards. You could even
mm.
do that with like Easter cards, Valentine's cards, seasonal stuff. Yeah. What other things could you do along those lines? Like,
I do when I haven't done it for a while. Normally, when I buy a set, I try to do a card for a very beginner, and then a card for an intermediate, and then a card for somebody that has every single crafting tool imaginable. So basically, you would start off with a card that's just got a stamped image on the front. You folded your piece of card in half, and you've stamped the front with a flower or a greeting. The next one will be perhaps if you've got some ribbon or some sparkly gems, which I like. And then the next one will be for somebody that has a die cutting machine and they're a bit more of a professional crafter, if you like. So they have more tools.
cool.
So I do it in sort of 3 levels. So that could be the 3 to 5 thing.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, absolutely. So Easter card for beginner, or say
Mm,
Valentine's, because that's the next one,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah,
Valentine's card for beginner, intermediate, and
mm,
advanced.
yeah.
Awesome. That's a really good. That definitely needs to go in your plan. Um, okay. There's also things like my top 3 favorite tools or effects or something like that with cards. Yeah,
Mm.
something like that. Hacks, as in ways to make things easier to do. Um, so top 5 card making hacks.
That's
Would that be
something that I've
something that?
never done. I've never sort of sat down and thought, right, how can I make this easier for myself? I've never actually done that.
But I'm sure there are things that that other people don't know. And this is the
Mm,
other crucial thing when you're creating content. You might go, who wants to know that? I know how to do that and it's dead easy. However, your audience are not you. You've got a wealth of knowledge about your subject that other people do not have. You find it
mm,
easy, other people find it really, really tricky. So
mm,
it's still worth putting this stuff out there because you just don't know. Somebody coming into your piece of content might be at a complete opposite end of the scale and know absolutely nothing about your subject, you
mm.
know?
What I have, just
Yeah.
listening to you now, what I have realised is that my content on my blog is so boring. It's just like, there's a
But
card.
you've
This is
hopefully
how
got
you
a few
make it.
ideas.
Yeah.
Hopefully you've got some ideas of how to make it more lively.
Mm.
We haven't even got through the list yet.
I-
Claudia's just commented, which is lovely. I love what she said. There we go. You could perhaps throw in themes of cards that are a bit out of the ordinary, like beach
Mhm.
theme. I love that idea, Claudia. I love
I know
anything
you.
beach. Or drinking theme, puns, comedy. I'm sure you'll find more theme ideas. Absolutely. You know,
I'm
there
just
are
writing that down.
themes. There are
I
all
did
sorts of
do
themes, are there not?
just before Christmas. I did. I bought some little. I don't know whether you can buy them in the UK. They're little tiny Milka chocolates, and they're individually wrapped. And I did a whole thing about. I called it Milka Chocolate Monday. So every Monday, I had a box or a bag that featured these little tiny chocolates. You can buy them in Leclerc.
Right.
So
Yes. Is that the
did
ones that
that.
I got for Christmas off you?
No, not them ones. No, they were the New Year fancy ones. They've got little quizzes inside, I think them. No, they were just little normal.
Right.
It's like just milk and chocolate, just wrapped. Oh, hang on. Let me just unplug you and I'll go find one upstairs. Taking you on a walk into my bedroom. Oh.
So I'm gonna wriggle on because I'm conscious that I've been banging on
Mm.
for an hour and 10 minutes here, and I haven't even got through the list of ideas. So for the benefit of those watching, um, okay, so the next thing is, of all the things you have put on Facebook or Instagram in the last 3 to 6 months, how could you turn those ideas and expand them into a blog post or a YouTube video? So that's maybe not one to answer right now. That's one to go back through your profile and see what's been interacted with the most and see if there is a way of extrapolating that into
Mm.
a blog. Thanks for coming, Lucinda. She's got to run off for the school run and she'll catch the rest later. I'm sorry we have gone on so long. This is what happens when Dawn and I get together. We just chat. I'm not guaranteeing this may end anytime soon, but I'm going to try. Right. So, yeah, so popular Facebook or Insta post. So any social media stuff that's gone down well. Can you expand that out into a blog post? Okay. Is there a book or a podcast about which you could do an interesting or helpful review for your ideal client? So, for example, if there was a book about card making that had just come out, I don't know, you could do a review of that. If there was something relevant, if Stampin' Up do books, like ideas, craft ideas books, you could maybe like, especially if it's something that you sell through your website, right? Through your section of the
The
website,
problem is
is just
with Stampin' Up. Sorry to talk over the top of you. I'm I'm not allowed to promote anything else. So if it's not Stampin' Up, I can't promote another crafter's product, if you like. I'm not allowed.
yeah.
That's
So
the
do
other.
they do books?
No,
Do they do
just
books?
they just have a
Well,
catalogue.
see, that's their thing. And if they don't sell books, and yet there's a book that teaches people to do certain things using Stampin' Up's products, then I don't see how that would be a problem. I know this is the problem with network marketing, is that they restrict what you can do,
Yeah.
and with your own business, as long as it's ethical, really, in my view, you can say what you like about yourself as long as it's true and ethical. But do you know what I mean? If there's somebody I know who might be a better fit for somebody but does a similar thing, I'm quite happy to sort of refer people on. But if Stampin' Up are not doing books and yet I'm not, no one's Stampin' Up to go suing me going, but Stampin' Up, if you're not going to do books, then let Dawn promote somebody else's book. It's not promoting the book. It's telling people this book is there, and Stampin' Up have all the tools available to do the things in the book. It's just an example. It wasn't a specific do this about a book. It's kind of, as an idea, maybe there is something that might help to promote the things that you're selling. So maybe Stampin' Up could do some books. That would be the ideal thing, wouldn't it? So, okay, what is next? Because we're nearly there. Let me just see. Oh no, there's quite a lot left, so I'm gonna maybe skip a few. Current trends. Current trends. I think beach themed cards could be a trend. Hint, hint for my birthday. I'm very beachy. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, something personal about you. What does your ideal client need to know about you? Or what are you afraid to share with them? Is that a little
My
can of worms I
face.
might have thrown in? Yeah. Your voice and your face. Other than
Yeah, my
that, you're
voice
fine.
and my face.
No, but I think it would be an interesting one as a YouTube or a blog to tell people why you do it and like why making cards is a passion of yours. Because it clearly is. It's something
Yeah.
you really enjoy doing. And, I think if you step into this passion for making cards, you could relate to an awful lot of people that maybe you're not connecting with at the moment because you're afraid for people to see your face and hear your voice.
The best compliment I received was, I know it's off my mum, was when my dad died. I went home and I opened up a drawer in the spare bedroom, and my mum had kept every single card I'd sent and made, every single one. Stuck again.
Well, goodness me. The internet gods are not smiling on me. Somebody is still watching. Thank you for sticking with. Dawn has just arrived as well. Yes, and Claudia has been actually, hi. Claudia is an amazing person to be watching here. Claudia is an incredibly talented artist, and here is Dawn, who is an incredibly talented crafter. So it's really good that this is connecting you two. You two absolutely need to just like friend up, by the way. Just saying. So yeah, she's come up with some really good ideas for Dawn there. So thank you very much for that, Claudia. Right, I'm gonna really briefly run through some last of these because we're nearly on an hour and 20. So I'm really
I have to
grateful
go get
to
my children soon from school as well. I need to leave at
yes.
15:15.
So we'll run through, and I'll give you a couple of moments to scribble some ideas, and maybe we can just toss some ideas. But let's have a look. Is there anybody you could interview to share insights, tips, or other valuable info with your ideal client? And I would say yes, your upline. That would be. And actually, do you know, when I started doing lives, one really good way I got over nerves was interviewing people, because if you've got someone there, like having you here, Dawn, it's just like having a chat with you, only I'm mildly aware that other people are watching too. And obviously with the comments and stuff, and it's lovely Claudia, so it's all good. And it was lovely Lucinda before as well. So it's all good. And Natalia was here. All lovely people. So actually having lovely people watch as well it takes that nervous edge off. So what is your ideal client posting, or what on Pinterest or watching on YouTube? What type of content could you create to add your voice to those topics? So you're on Pinterest, aren't you? And are you putting cards up regularly that you've created, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Unusual things.
Mm.
Cool. Right. What are the top, you'll like this one. What are the top 3 things that is preventing your ideal client from giving your program, product, or service a try? What things are stopping people?
YouTube again. And
I think it's maybe a little bit of a fear that they're not going to do as good a job as you, or a fear that they're going to mess it up. I think that's a lot of people hang back from crafting because they think they're going to mess it all up. But let's be honest, guys, it's cardboard. Just cut another piece. You can't really mess it up. And you
I'll
can,
turn it
it's all
over.
right. You can have
That's
another go.
That's a top tip.
Yes.
Turn it over.
Well, you've just given me another idea for you. What to do if you've messed it up. Okay, so come up with 5 different things you could mess up and show people how to put it right. Yeah. Over and above, do it again. It's not a disaster. You can just do this and whatever. So that's quite a good one.
I tell my customers, say if they've come to a workshop and we've got a bit inky, a bit messy, and we've got a few smudges, I usually say add a gem or a sequin or something to cover it up. Oh no.
Yeah. There you go. So you could do that on YouTube. You can mess something up and say, well, actually, all I'm going to do is this, and that's fixed it. So it stops me from having to try it all again. Excellent. I'm looking forward to reading your blog after all of this, I have to say.
Oh no. Because there'll be loads of full stops and commas missing and things.
Well, this is why you need someone to look it over. So what are the other things? What is something you can share with your ideal client about when you used to be where they are now? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can, because
When
on my
you
blog, it goes back to, I can't remember what date it goes back to. Before I became a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, there was really old stuff on my blog from when I first came to France. So it's like,
what I mean is before you started card crafting, yeah, what kinds of struggles did you have at that point? So you can talk about struggles that you had, or things that you learned at that stage that were really, really useful that you still carry on with now, that kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Well,
What's
I
Claudia
started
said now?
cross stitching, and then I was getting married, and I thought I'm going to make my own invitations. So I made my own invitations, and then that's where it started, I think.
Oh, well, that's good. That's actually a really good story, though, isn't it? Why did you feel the need to do that? Was there just nothing out there that really resonated with you? So, right. Claudia says, so many people with kids that do the portraits like me have had incidents where the child has scribbled on a finished project. And I don't know what that is supposed to. Some adjusting, it makes absolutely beautiful bit of art. Yeah.
It's the 5 ways to correct something. So say I said to plonk a sequin on. Claudia said that if the child scribbles on it, then you're like, oh, well, the child sort of added to it without shouting at them first.
It.
Yeah.
It's like when my dog chews something, they've just improved it a bit, Like when Luna chewed up my favourite pair of flip-flops, she made them better, honestly.
I remember seeing it. I was ages ago. A child had drawn on somebody's wall, and instead of scribbling it off, they put a frame around it and framed the scribble on the wall. That sort of thing.
Go with it.
Yeah.
Right. What is your ideal client embarrassed to admit? I like that.
I don't know.
What is something outside of your niche that you can apply to what you teach? So are there any little things that are not necessarily?
I've been thinking about me, what I make, and I want to find that one thing that's me, that sets me apart from everybody else, and I'm struggling to find it. I want just that one that someone can look at something I've made and go, that's Dawn. That sort of thing. And I haven't found it yet. I'm still searching.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting one. Maybe a little kind of internal reflection, meditation, or journaling or something,
Mm.
and maybe think, what could it be? I mean, have you noticed a difference, a change, a little trademark sort of thing that you do?
I like doing shaker cards. That's me. And glitter and secret. Anything that sparkles is me.
Shaker.
Yeah. Hang on.
Mm.
I'll show
But
you
you
what I
also
mean.
do some really clever layerings, I've noticed. I'm staring across at my Christmas card, and you've
Oh,
got some really clever layers going on.
can you see? There's beads inside. Can you see? Where's the camera?
Yay!
It's a gumball machine. And then
Nice.
this one's for Richard if he's nice to me. It's for Valentine's Day. Got love hearts in the top.
Nice.
But if he
Very
doesn't, I'm
nice.
sending it to my cat.
Fab. Right, we've just got a couple more I just want to get through, because I'm conscious that you've got to go.
Mm.
Right. Before and after customer story. Yeah. And then the final one is, which we've largely covered, is step-by-step processes. That would be like doing a card or something like that.
Yeah.
Or what other things can you make other than cards?
Boxes, bags. You can give me anything. Just I don't know, a spoon, and I'll make a box to fit around it. Or that's just something random. But
I want to gift somebody a coat hanger this Christmas. Can you make me a box to fit the coat hanger?
I haven't actually got anything big enough. Maybe for a doll.
Like a doll-sized coat hanger.
Yeah. How did I make this? Oh, I stole some of Charlotte's
You
sweets.
could challenge yourself to create a box to fit different weird things. Yeah.
Well, that was the idea behind it.
the box.
It's a bit of a pun.
Absolutely intentional.
Charlotte bought these little shoes thingies. So I stole them. And then I haven't finished it yet, but I've made a box to fit them.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Yeah.
So things you can make boxes for.
Yeah, just
Awesome.
because I like to make little thank you gifts, like when I give you the chocolates and things. So if I have a thing of chocolate, I'm like, oh, what can I make it into? What can I put around it to make it look pretty than just giving them a handful of chocolate and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But you have to be so careful that if you just, sometimes you look at something and you bury it in the back of your head, and then I've created something and I thought, oh, where have I seen that before? Is it me that's made it, or is it somebody else? And then if it's somebody else that you've copied, you have to credit that person.
Yeah. Depends how blatantly, obviously, it is going to be that it was them,
Some people do get a bit funny about it as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Things to bear in mind, isn't it? I mean, that's the thing. It's always got to be mindful of plagiarism when you're creating stuff. And is it genuinely your thing, or have you taken something that somebody else has done and made it your own? In which case, there's absolutely great, credit that person and say, I saw this that this person did, and I had this idea, so I've done this, and da da da. So there's a lot of you can still sort of take credit for stuff, even if you've been inspired by somebody else.
I have said sorry.
Go on.
They call it copying. They call it casing, where you copy and share everything off somebody. And I did actually once joke in a team meeting that if somebody copied and shared me, I would run around my garden naked. Happened yet.
We'll have to see how we can make that happen then. That'll be your first video for your YouTube channel.
Yeah, just whip my towel off.
I'll get you over your embarrassment, though.
Oh dear.
Fantastic. Well, has that given you a lot of ideas of
It
different things
has.
you can
Thank
do?
you. Yes, because
I'm
like I
looking
just said,
forward. I'm looking
like I
forward
said
to seeing your
before.
blog.
Oh, thank you. I
Go
just
on.
realised that it's boring. My blog is actually boring. So
Well, this
that's
is
could be
the
why.
thing. People need a reason to go to your blog. And
Mm,
bear in mind as well, when you're creating the titles for your blog, and certainly when you're looking at SEO for your blog, which is SEO is one of the primary reasons to blog, basically, other
mm,
than having links that you can send to people that answer their questions in an easy way. You've got the thing of SEO. So somebody might Google, how do I make my own Valentine's card? And if you've got
mm,
enough content on your blog that's well optimized enough, then you want them to be coming and finding your blog post. Now, you took looking at long tail keywords, um, and maybe sort of niche SEO kind of thing. So, because a lot of the time, the big guys have got cornered the market on the SEO on particular subjects, but there's ways of checking what the competition is and things like
mm.
that. So yeah, that is a whole other story there, and I cannot believe how long I have rambled on about content planning. I could go on a lot longer, but what I do want to say to people is it's been I have really loved doing this live, and thank you to everybody who's come along and supported, and amazing thanks to Dawn for being brave enough to come on and be picked apart by me, and hopefully it's been worth your while, Dawn.
It has.
But what I would like to say to everybody who's made it this far, and well done, is I am going to offer something special for you. So what I do, I have what I call a deep dive session, business content deep dive session, and that is normally €199. But I'm going to create a code when I'm back on my computer and my keyboard works. I'm going to be creating a special code for anybody who's watching this live or on the YouTube channel. And I haven't created it yet, so I can't tell you what it is, but I will put it in the comments and I'll put it in my description of the YouTube video. That's going to be up until the end of June and end of January. I've been chatting so long, my brain's dribbled out my face. Before the end of January, if you want to get together and have a content planning session, proper deep dive, proper scheduling, way deeper than we've gone today, then I am offering €30 off with my special voucher code, which I will be putting in the comments. So if anybody wants to take me up on that, that'll be literally just €169 for a deep dive content ideas generation and planning session. So with that said, I think that's all I wanted to say. If anybody has any other questions, and I am going to just scan through the chat to see if I've missed anything, but I think we've got everything. And thank you to everybody who's stuck with us through all the technical rubbish. Oh dear. Right. I think we are good. Dawn, you're going to pop round with that catalogue.
When they arrive, I'm still waiting for them to come.
Are they not,
You're getting your order before mine, and I ordered mine on the 1st of January.
Yes. No way. No way. Mine's coming tomorrow.
I
I'm
saw.
becoming a bit of a wax melt addict, I
Mm,
have to
it-
say.
it-
And I've only got about 3 or 4 cubes left of my first one. So,
Really? Let's have a good
but I
sniff.
think what I think I'd like to just reiterate something Natalia said here, and I think it's true of many people. And believe it or not, people are going to go, "Shut up, Fiona. I'm an introvert. I actually really get recharged by alone time and self-care and all of that. Being around people, I find it stimulating but also draining. I've loved doing this and I love going on video live, but oh my God, I know I'm going to need a nap later because it's been quite, do you know what I mean? It's quite intense, but I love it.
Mm.
But Natalia has said she's an introvert and she claims to be quiet. And she's not really. I mean, yeah, it's just like me. You kind of, I think as an introvert, you have ways of making it seem like you're not. But give her a topic she's passionate about and you can't shut her up. And I think that's the thing. If you've got something that you're passionate about and that you could literally stand and talk about for an hour and 35 minutes and counting, then you found your thing, and you're never going to be short of content. You're never going to be short of ideas. So yeah, let that be the lesson of today. And yeah, I will get that code sorted for everybody as soon as and pop it in the information. Thank you very much, everybody. You better go and get your kids, Dawn, otherwise they'll be stuck there crying. Go, where's me mum? Where's me mum?
I'll send you a message later. Okay, bye.
Cool.
See ya.
Take care.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. So yes, I will just take this opportunity to sign off and thank you everybody who came along. And if you are watching this on the replay, which I should have said this at the beginning, can you put a hashtag replay so I know who's been? Because people are going to be like, Aaron 36? Not likely, mate. I'd be surprised if anybody watches this far on the replay. And if they do, I am incredibly flattered. So, and if you've got any questions or if you want just a free half an hour discovery call, I'm calling them. Other people have called them other things, that kind of thing. Just to generate, sort of see if we work together. That is available on my website, fionagazard.com, on the contact page. If you want the free, not free, it's not free. If you want the deep dive session at the discounted rate, then the product there is also on the website. It's on the business embodiment content coaching page. And if you go through and buy the deep dive session, I will pop the code you need in the comments here. And I'm going to leave you there because it's nearly an hour and 40. So thank you ever so much. Lots of love. Have a fantastic January. But I will see you again because I've had people ask me questions about newsletters. So I'm going to make next Monday's live about newsletters. And I did have questions about various things from a couple of people that I intended to address at the end of this, but I think I'm going to let you go. And I will do another live maybe midweek to address those questions. So if anybody has any other questions they want me to answer, if there's any questions from this live, then you can put them in the comments or drop them to me in a message and I will address them also in that Q&A. So thank you very much for all your attention and hopefully this has been useful and entertaining. And there you go. Take care. Have a great week. Bye.